This time for Yerushalmi Orlah, and the article holds for the edition were mamish the top of Lamed Vav Amrav. It's for Klipe Egos Orlah, and in the Vilna, that is on Yud Zayin and base. Also, mamish at the top, the third word in. It's spelled Klipe Egos Orlah. So similar to the case I had yesterday, but somewhat different. The Gemara says. You color the garment with the nutshells of orla, and then you color it with the nutshells of chulin min acher. It says here echad, but the Rashi and others change it to acher. So, in cases you dye the garment with klip ego she'orla. And then another part of the garment, this is missing here, with klipa ego shechulin. But the chulin are insufficient to be batel 201, the part of orla. But then you color a third part of the garment with a different nutshell of chulin, which is a little bit different in its countenance than the egos of orla, but it's not like the rimon we had yesterday. So does that mitzdarif to be mevatel the Ego Shel Orla. So Yevakada, let's learn like this. Like the following Mishnah in Chumas Perek Dal Mishnah Ches. Rabbi Shua Marteinim Shchoros Malos Salvanos. It says black figs can negate white figs. For example, you have a white date of Chumash found to 50 white figs and 50 black figs of Chulin. Even though you can tell which ones are black, that they're not from the same min of the Isser, nevertheless, not precisely the same min of Isser, but since they're the same min, they're both figs, so they're mitzaref. So here too, let's say that since all the nut dye, both that which is similar to the ego shel orla and that which is dissimilar, no different than black and white figs, it should be mitzaref. Say same thing over here. Says more no. There, time royal chodcho. There you can grind them up. You grind them up, it's not going to nicker anymore. From hacha inner royal chodcho. But here you can't cut up the garment because it's going to get ruined. So therefore, it's not evidence. The fact that the figs are mitzaref, they're much more amino because you can grind together and all be one big fig thing. And it's still be edible, perfectly edible, just as much if it's cut up as if it's whole. But here, the cut up garment is nothing. So madamile, what's comparable to black and white figs? I'll tell you what's comparable. Not a garment, but gazim gazizos. If you have strips of wool, which are pieces from which some of them were dyed. Klipe egos shel orla, and some of them are dyed with klipe egos of chulin, but not of the same color, and some of them dyed with klipe egos of chulin of a different color. So there, since you can wind them all together and make threads out of them, so there, that's fine. Those, I think flock is the proper English word. The various different pieces of flock can be avatal each other. The ego shel, which is similar to the ego shel orla, and the ego shel, which is not similar to the ego shel orla, because you make one flock of them and then use them to make threads and make a garment. But that's similar to Ta'enim Shchoros Levanos, but not the case where it already is made into a garment. Okay, Rabbi Yisrael said, Ma Damila, he gave a different analogy. Bega Golish Tzov Manas Lechatcho, Mabdine Dur Desin. You draw an analogy to a large garment, which you're going to cut, and make from them felt pieces of felt that it's not there. It's not going to be anymore. What's the ego shel orla? What's the ego shel chulin of one type? The ego shel chulin another type, and So since it was made, and obviously it was made lechatchila this way, because it's not made it was for this purpose lechatchila, same about lechatchila, you can't do it. But if it's made to make from it this dur scene, this type of felt, where it's just similar to flock, and that you're not going to leave it in the form of a beggar, you're going to make it into something else. So then it would be the taka would be similar to the black figs and the white figs. Okay, Amray Bech, it said Samonim, the paints, but Samonim Batelim Masayim. If you have some paints of Orlah, which got mixed up paints of Heter, they're both 1 and 200. It's of the Orlah is Be'ain. Mates for him, Batelim. But if water which you soaked Orlah paint got mixed up in water which you soaked Heter paint, so since the Isser is not Be'ain, and because you took out I guess you took out the Orlah substance, what I meant. It's a question of an Hana from the Isser Orlah, so that is Batabrov. So Hana, and this is like Ray Bar Memo. So that's the inside. Rabbi Yochanan Samay saying B'Telim B'Masayim Meitzavoy Meitzavoy B'Telim B'Rov. Why? Because Amray Bar Memo. I have here Zos Ameris, I guess not because, but this from this way Bar Memo derived Hanoyas Orlah B'Telim B'Rov. The Orlah is only bottle 1 and 200. The Hanoah of Orlah, where it's not Be'ain, is bottle in simple Rov. Masnisa pliga al Rabbi Bar Memo. But it's the following Mishnah, which is later on Locha Gimel, seems to argue Bar Memo. It says a cooked dish which you cook with klipe Orlah, it's got to be burnt because there's shevach eitzim pas. In other words, the Orlah wood, the Orlah shells, which are used as fuel, enhance the bread. And that is considered to be Hanoah from Orlah, and therefore it's also. But the question is, why is that, according to Rabbi Memo, that Hanoah should be bought in a simple majority? Why should it ask for the bread? Why should it have tavshil? So the Masis Rabbi Memo, tavshil jibishal be klipa Orlah yidalik pasarlah b'keder me'akderos. He says, no, that's different. Hanoah's el is betela when you have a liquid in a liquid, like meitzvoim, because this is not Be'ain. Our mission is talking about where a kedera of Isser, a mix among kederas of Heter. Since the one which the game also by Nos Orlah is Be'ain, in other words, Usher pot is Be'ain, so it's only bottle in 200. It is also true when it's not just Keder among Kederas, but any Yavesh be the same thing. It wouldn't be bought. I'll point out a very big chiddush here, which is it's really because of Davar Choshev, it's not Batel. And the Kederas are Davar Choshev. And he points out in the article that this is true not just about Kedera, but this is true about any Davar Choshev by Orlah. I don't think to give an example, but I don't think he does. But in any event, so there's even though it's I remember what I want to point out, but it's specifically because it's still in the Kedera. The Kedera gives a chashivas, because if you took away the Kedera, it'd still be a tavshil where there's Hanoah, and Hanoah is bottom, according to Rabbi Memo. But since the Hanoah is encompassed in the Kedera gives it a chashivas. And therefore, the Kedera given a chashivas is not, prevents it from being a bato. The Chazon Ish is one who says that this is true about any Yavish B'Yavish as well. I'm not sure about that now, because maybe it's only because of the chashivas of the Kedera. I don't know about the regular Yavish B'Yavish case. I'm going to take that back. I even though the Chazon Ish says it, but I'm not sure if it follows from this case. The Levi Yerushalmi on the Chazon Ish does not really address the issue of Davar Choshev sufficiently. So I'm going to say that it's not. It's specifically because it's the Kedera gives chashivas to what would normally be the lighter Isser Hanoah, and therefore it's and therefore it is not batel. And the whole whatever you have here is the tavshil idalek. I want to go back a second to dur the scene because I just looked at the article. I noticed the article translates dur the scene not as pieces of felt, but as the more traditional translation of like galoshes. But the point is that it's the same idea that you're ripping up the bigger garment in order to make a lesser garment that was intended for that purpose to begin with. Okay. Another one gives a different answer. Amr Rabbi Yossi said, "Mizbah Sover Barba Memo Shemuta Asos came B'Tchila." The thing that I bought by memo said l'chatchila you can be mavatel the Isser Hanoah lo l'shavar. It's when it's already died. So that going back to our case before, where colored water of Orlah fell into a majority of colored water of Chulin, do you think it's mutter to the color l'chatchila? No. Same David. If you already use that seva, it's bata barov because it's not. It's only hana, not the actual substance of Orlah. So in our case over here, it's you're not allowed when you have the tavshil bishul b'klipa orla to battle it and other tavshilin. It has the hanoah in it, the shvach yitzim b'pas. You can't say, and we can't really. Well, it's bothering me. I really have to expand this a bit. The shvach yitzim b'pas is not really clearly definable. How much it is in the taroibus. So therefore, it's bothering me. What's the hamina that it should be mutter? Evidently, it's a rove. It can be, and that's we're going to ask the question. Okay, it should let it be bata barov. The shvach yitzim b'pas can't be the entire tavshil. The shvach can't be a tavshil. But what I want to say is that. You can't do it l'chatchila, and here the comparison is you're before achila. You're not eating it. You haven't eaten yet, so you say, okay, don't eat it. Right there, evidently, after it's already died. I'm not sure I understand fully the distinction, but after it's already died, and you didn't find out until after it's died, it's as if it's after achila, and therefore it's okay. Here it's before achila. So therefore it's not okay. So it's like an issue of Bali is l'chatchila. After he died, it's as if it's consumed, and therefore there's no issue of Bali is l'chatchila when you wear it. Here it's before you eat it. Don't eat it. And don't rely on the rov. So it could be about the rov. But that's saying about l'chatchila tells you don't eat it. Don't rely on that rov. Still don't get it very well. Could be spelled like the article. The article is not learned B'Tmiyah, like we just learned it, which is from the Gra. This is a statement. He says, "On my BSC Mizbar Savrai Barbar Memo Shmut Asos came B'Tchila. Yivato da Noah L'Chatchila. Lo L'Shavar, not just L'Shavar." I don't know if that works out so well now that I read it. I'm not sure it's any better. So Gemara goes down to ask Microdome, how does this, according to Rabbi Memu, holds that Noah is Batel, how does it work? What's the sheer bittul? So image with the tzba, if there's enough in the orla, the made sevashal orla, to dye the garment, I'd rather say to Misheno, you look at that as if it's not there. Also, Isser, it says instead of Shabo, the Quran changes it to Im Yeshbo. K'tei Lesar, that The Shabbat really works too. Also, Isser Shabbat K'dei Lesser. The Isser which is in there is enough to Aser. It's not bottom. If you doesn't, this is not sufficient to dye the garment. You still look after as if it's not there, but also Isser Embuk K'dei Lesser. But then the Isser is not enough to Aser. So then it's like a bottom. So it depends. That's the definition of the bittul Isser, where the Isser had enough to dye the garment on its own. Can't be about Isser. This is not enough to dye the garment on its own. Then you can be mabato the Isser, and it's not because it's an interest, because it's not because of the shear of the Isser and the Heter. That's not relevant. It's the shear of it's looking at the Heter can be she'ena. So it's not a stam away. So we're talking about bittul hanoah. We're not talking the Heter as if it's not there. The question is whether the Isser had enough in and of itself to die or not to die. That's the question. Okay. Tamatina. We learned over there. Where is that? About Zara, Perak Beis, Mishagimel. These are things going which are also Isurin, Isra Noya, and also by Noah as well. Hayayin, wine, Bachomet shall go, and vinegar, wine vinegar goyim shall mitchilos yayin, and the wine vinegar is initially wine. Beches Hadrani and the Hadrian pottery, Adrianus Caesar would mix moist clay with wine and make from the kalim, and they would not dry them in a kiln, and they would carry this in war. And when they wanted to reconstitute the wine, they would stick the pottery in water and the dissolve, and the clay would sink to the bottom, and the wine would rise to the top and be mixed with the water. So that's called cheres hadrina. Obviously, it has it has wine inside it. Rabbi Zil B'Shem Rabbi Meir said Rabbi Meir he said that this guy Rabbi Meir whose cheres hadrina is also by Noah, even the cheres part. The tiny cheres hadrina asora b'suya Noah. This is I guess it's Rabbi Meir speaking. Manaka, I guess it's time. Mishnah Rabbi Meir. Well, it's in the Tosefta, but it's our Perek Hey, Mishnah Gimel, and it's from the Yerushalmi, but it's our Perek Beis, Mishnah Gimel. So, in any event, this is going. That's Rabbi Meir's far. So, Manaka, what are you talking about? Ishna also with Tavshil. If you're putting the cheres hadrina in a pot of food, typical also, obviously it's also because the taste of wine goes into the food. If you're selling the pottery for its various pottery, besides the yain nesel in it, the yain nesel is not part of the sale, the better call mutter, should be mutter. This is what I talk about. Shenoslo agabi tavshil. You put the cheres hadrina on top of a pot. So you want to cover the pot with the cheres hadrina. Meir holds it's also by Noah. Because you don't want the yain nesach in and of itself. So I have it inside my Gemara. Well, the Gemara is not happy with that because, after all, there's a taste of the yain nesach. You're going to get into the tavshil if you're using it as a pot cover. So you can't say why should be mutter, even chachamim. Okay, quite a man understand. You know, I mean, why should mutter even sorry, why should mutter even chachamim? Yes, according to me, it's also because it's also about no even the cheres part. But even why should chachamim be mutter in this case? There is this kind of fragrance which comes from the pot cover into the pot. So Gemara says, actually the issue is mal lismoch ba'kari amito. Right? The question is whether you can use it in order to support a bedpost. So Blezamer also you can't use it to support a bedpost, and The and Rabbi Yochanan Amar Mutter. Who says Mutter? It says also obviously also Cheres Hadrani is also by no, even the Cheres part. Yochanan says Mutter. Oh, the Cheres part is okay, and that's what you use in order to support your bedpost. Rabbi Yonah Boy Kumi Rabbi Zira. Hahain Beged the Tninon. That garment which we learned about. You cover the died of Klipe Orlah. The Mishnah said, which our Mishnah said about, can you use it, Lismoch Bo Kari Amita, because not getting enough from the dye, but from the Gufa Beged, or not. Same Beged the Tnina Hacha, Maus Maus Mamita, the Ichbel Kiblei. So Abizir got upset at him. Armali said, I feel my time on mutter. He said, even according to the opinion that Cheres Hadrani is okay, Lismoch Bo Kari Amita, Hacha Aser. Here it's Aser. Why? Taman any sur nikar. There, the Isser Cheres Hadrani, the wine is not obvious. It's absorbed into the Cheres Hadrani. It looks like pottery for all intents and purposes. Therefore, it's okay. Hacha Yitzur nikar. But here, the Isser is nikar, because it's dyed, and the dye is obvious. So therefore, it sounds like it's more of a Marisayan issue. But yes, but here it's also because the Isser is nikar. Okay, that brings us to the top of Lamed Zayin Amal for once. A little bit into the page. It's a very long day, so we can stop here for today.